I have helped many individuals, organizations exceed crazy sales targets in record time. I remember in 2020, when there was a lockdown, a client reached out to me. She actually hired a car with police escorts to move me out of my house over to her office because she felt like, this guy, I need you to walk me through this crazy sales target that I have right now. I strategized with her, and in record time, she was able to exceed that target that year. I'm going to show you in today's video, maybe not this entire video because it's a short one, but it's a beginning of a series. It's going to be a beginning of a series on the psychology of selling. And I'm going to introduce to you crushing sales targets today, the basic things you need to know to be able to exceed any sales targets. My name is Iyore. I've trained over 24,000 salespeople across 5 countries: Nigeria, Ghana, USA, UAE, Rwanda. I'm an author of several books and resources on sales, and I'm featured on lots of media platforms to talk about successful selling. I work at an organization was given its craziest target to sell to 20 high net worth individuals. In a single month, I was able to bring in 21 high net worth individuals. I also participated in sales competition where I won, and I was sent for the World Cup for an all-expense paid trip. I moved to another organization where I was able to double my portfolio by over 500% in just 11 months. I'm CEO for Ultravantage, and my specialty is in sales force management, to work with sales teams, CEOs, to help them optimize sales results and get results in record time. I remember a real estate company reached out to me, and they said, Iyore, come and talk to us about psychology of selling. When I get in, they said they wanted to talk about psychology of selling because they had a crazy sales target in front of them. When we were done analyzing in that session, man, ladies and gentlemen, the CEO, when he moved from that organization to another organization, he sent for me again because he knew that what we showed them was so practical to be able to exceed crazy sales targets. Ladies and gentlemen, you need to understand that your mind is your world. Your mind is your world. The limitations of man is not the limitation of his circumstances. It's not the limitation of his body. It is not the limitation of anything else, but the limitation of his mind. The mind is the limitation. In fact, do you know that before you can do anything, you must think about it first? Before you can eat, you must have seen yourself eating first. Before you can walk, you must have seen yourself walking first. That's why if you have a child and you keep the child on his own, he or she doesn't watch anybody, doesn't see anybody. All they do is that they are in one room and you're passing food under the door for them to just eat, but we're not seeing any other human. Do you know that that child will be an imbecile, will not be able to talk, will not be able to walk, will not be able to see, will not be able to do anything? Why? Because all the senses of our body are based on vision. So this means when the child sees other people walking, the child can start to walk. When the child sees people talking, the child can start to talk. Whatever the child sees, that's what the child mirrors in their life. To be able to exceed sales targets, your mind is your greatest weapon. Your mind is your greatest weapon. How you see things changes everything. Are you aware that there are people who are given a target? Maybe they tell you, do 1 billion in a year. And you're like, hey, 1 billion, only me. Whereas in your life, you've probably not even done more than 10 million or 50 million or 100 million, who knows? And now you have to do 1 billion. The jump is radical. The question is this. The fact that you have not yet resigned after they gave you that particular target is because somewhere on the inside of you, it is possible. I've seen people who, when they give them targets and certain things to do, the person just says, please pass me pen and paper. Because in the person's mind, the person says, this is far above, this is crazy, this person is trying to sack me, let me just sack myself. Let me just resign before person sacks me. But the fact that you're still there is because somewhere in you, you know that it's possible. There are many things that man has accomplished, but man felt it was not possible. For example, going to the moon, going out of space, we thought it was not possible. We saw a video, I saw a video on YouTube the other day, a rocket that left a particular spot and it returned to that spot. Who would have thought that it was possible for a rocket to leave the Earth's surface? Then when it's done with its mission in space, it comes back to return to the original spot it took off from. Because the capacity to do the impossible is in us. There's so much we can do. And I'm saying this to you so that you will understand that whatever target that's in front of you right now, it is possible. It is possible. Somebody says, but Iyore, this target is extreme. I'm aware that some people give extreme targets. Going to space was not an extreme target. deciding for people say, oh, we want to create life in Mars, for us to be able to live in Mars, is not an extreme target. My point is, whatever target that you have before you right now, you can do it. Imagine if the target is 1 billion, like I said earlier, and for some reason, you are trying to go after that target. What if they made it 10 billion? Would you have resigned? Question. What if they made it 100 billion? Would you have resigned? What if they made it 1 trillion? Would you have resigned? If you're still around, it's because somewhere on the inside of you, you know that we'll make this thing happen somehow. I want you to know that it's possible. So if you change your mind and change your thinking, your world will change and will transform your results. Science has shown that if you want to be successful, you need to surround yourself with the stories, the autobiographies of successful individuals. This means that the more you read stories of people who have exceeded sales targets, look at the story of Roger Bannister. Roger Bannister, who they told that you cannot run a mile in less than 4 minutes. They said it's not possible. They said if doctors came together, scientists came together, and they looked at the human body, look at how the heart works. Look at how the muscles work. Look at how the lungs work. It's not possible for a human being to run a mile in less than 4 minutes. The limitation was not the body. It was the conceptualization of the mind. Do you know that Roger Bannister in the Olympics ran? He didn't run a mile in less than 4 minutes. But in the next Olympics, the story tells us that he prepared intensely. There's a work aspect, right? But I'm not showing you the psychological aspect now. He prepared intensely. And the story tells us that he also practiced seeing himself cross that line in less than 4 minutes. By the time he ran at the next Olympic, he ran a mile in 3 minutes, 58 seconds, less than 4 minutes. Record that had never been achieved before. How come Roger Bannister could do it? It's because his mind had conceptualized it. Challenge the status quo. Challenge what is possible to the mind. The more you hear stories of people who are doing well and exceeding their targets in sales, the greater your possibilities. When I was working in a financial institution and I was given a target to sell to 20 high net worth individuals, that was the first time I was confronted with a crazy sales target. The average person could not even do one a month. One a month was a problem. But I went for NPR that day. I had opened my slides and I had gotten 4 high net worth individuals. So I thought, wow, I've done so well. I got in 4 HNIs. Some people in the crowd actually even clapped because they felt like, wow, he tried. Just to show you what others were presenting versus what I presented. Because other people had presented before me and I had gotten 4. They had probably not gotten maybe 1 or even nothing. Then my boss says, why 4? He knows what's happening in our location. He knows the circumstances. They were not favorable to allow us even do up to 4. I went the extra mile. Yet he told me, you know what? Go and get us 20 high net worth individuals next month. 20. I had already given up in my heart. And that's where, you see, a lot of times when targets come to us, we give up in our hearts. Even the Bible says, do not faint in your mind. Look at how Jesus suffered and went through the cross, so that when you are going through suffering, you do not faint in your mind. So you can also faint in your mind when you hear some crazy targets. But when he said that to me, go and get 20 HNIs, I'd fainted in my mind. It was when I was going back to the office, I was in the car with a colleague of mine. And that's why you see association matters. He said to me, he says, Iyore, how far were your targets? The reason I listened to this guy was because he was always busting his targets. He was #1 sales guy in our office. He says, Iyore, how far were your targets? I said, I'll just do my best. I'll just do my best. You see the attitude? Sometimes your attitude was really telling you what the state of your mind is. I said, I'll just do my best. He now made the statements. He said, Iyore, the truth is this. Any target is achievable if you put your mind to it. In a soft tone, any target is achievable if you put your mind to it. When he said that to me, I remember looking outside the window as the car was driving, as the car was moving. I said, it's true. It's achievable. You know what? My attitude changed. That statement he made to me changed my attitude. And I went for the targets. In my mind, I had already seen that it was possible. And I went for it. Next month, go for the NPR, open my slide, 21 high net worth individuals met. Now, I saw the miraculous. I saw circumstances come together to make that happen. Things that happened that month did not happen the month before. Maybe it even happened after that month. But the point was that that month, I was able to conceptualize and produce that target. What target is in front of you right now? Can you conceptualize it and produce it? Another point, they said sell 10 credit cards in 3 days. The target for everybody was 4 in a month. 4 in a month. 4. Now you tell us do 10 in 3 days. What? How can? I even ignored it. But somebody in my office said, Iyore, did you see that email about 10 credit cards in 3 days? I said, yes, I saw it, but it doesn't make any sense. What? But you just bought 21 HNIs the other day. I think you should be able to go for this. You know what? Based on that, I went for this target. And I was able to bring in over 10, I think it was 12 in 3 days. I was sent for the World Cup for an all-expense paid trip. The point is, when I saw the way these targets were being achieved, I knew that even when something comes before you as a human being, and it looks impossible, it looks difficult, it looks hard, ladies and gentlemen, it's possible. It can be achieved. Just don't faint your mind and make up your mind that you're going to win. And you find out that circumstances, situations, everything will come together to make it possible for you to win. I want to thank you for watching today's video. Tomorrow's video, we're going to continue, and it's going to be very, very life-changing. I look forward to seeing you in the next session. Please, if you haven't watched this next video, please watch it. It's going to help you as well. Thanks so much for watching. Please like, please share with others who have crazy sales targets and to meet their sales targets. I look forward to seeing you in the next video.